Today's episode, we're gonna have some interesting reviews going on. The first one is one I think many of you may or may not be interested, but if you are, you should check it out. This is called the Tatsumi Fuji Narari 50th anniversary, the Never Give Up Tour final. So this one recently took place on December 1st. Now, if you guys aren't familiarized with this guy, Tatsumi Fujinari, he is a legendary wrestler, a veteran. He had made several appearances in various promotions. Um, he was one of those guys that comes out like in a coat type. He runs his own promotion called Tradition. I've never seen any of those shows, but it's a pretty good show. There's some veteran wrestlers you may or may not have heard. We even have some wrestlers that will make their appearance from New Japan. You ask me, how can we see this one? Well, it's on the NJPW on demand. You can see it from there, or go to watchprowrestling.org, and it's right there too. And also, we got the latest MLW Fusion 157. We have a number one contendership for the women's featherweight. We have the ladies from AAA who will be challenging Tail Valkyrie. Some of these girls are familiarized with her and they know their work. But who will walk out to become their next champion? Well, we don't know. And also, we got some interesting developments taking place. We finally find out who stole the Opera Cup from Davey Richards last year. And also, Impact Wrestling, as you know, we're building up all the way to Hard to Kill, but there's many implications taking place as long as we go. One of them right now we are going to be talking about is possibly the last rodeo of Mickie James when she takes on her biggest rival in Impact Wrestling to date, Diana Perazzo. Will Diana be the one to send her home, or will the last rodeo continue? We won't know. And of course, we got some news updates. We definitely going to be talking about what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Leader Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Lead It Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Gerard here. So let's begin with Tatsumi Fujinari 50th anniversary, the Never Give Up Tour final. This one took place recently on the 1st of December. Now let's talk about each of the matches. Now, if there's some wrestlers you never heard of, these are possibly because they're veteran wrestlers that you may not have seen before, but I apologize. If you just enjoy just listening to what I'm talking about, keep listening. Our first match is an 8-man tag team match. We got Tamura, Tatsukashi, Sanshi, Isamaru, Tajima, and Yuta Yoshi taking on Alexander Otsuka, Masada, Katsushi Takinura, and Nobuyuki Karushina. Now, this is one, I think these are veteran wrestlers because I have seen Tamura before. Tamura, he's from Heat Up, is a small independent promotion outside, somewhere in a different region. They run their own shows there. So not much about this, but this match ended in a suplex made by this guy Kashinura onto Yoshi. It was a pretty good match. There was nothing storytelling, but it was okay. A good opener, but you know what I mean. Next up, we have trios actions. We got people you may have known: Masaaki Mochizuki, Masato Tanaka, and Tatsuhiro Takaiwa. You may know of these guys. So they take on Akira, Shida Koshinuka, and Jinshi Shinzaku. I think that's his name. I thought the match was pretty good. I think there was some really good elements on this match. Uh, Mochizuki, I've seen him before. He is a great striker wrestler. Out of Dragon Gate, he also participates in many Noah events. Same thing with Masato Tanaka, veteran wrestler. But however, in this particular match, it was in fact pinfall by Akira that picked up the win onto Takaiwa. I think Takaiwa did not anticipate that move, so basically it ended up in that way. Now we have singles action. We got Leona versus the Time Bomb Hiroshi Tanahashi, no, Hiromu Takahashi. I thought it was a pretty fun match because you know how Hiromu is. He's out of his mind, and that tells the whole thing. But I think I'm not sure if it was the Time Bomb that finished off Leona, but I don't know what it was. I couldn't tell. But it gave him the win, and Leona was like not pleased with the fact that he lost to a guy like Hiromu. So that's how it works. Next match we have, I believe we have interesting trios action. We got Yoshiki Inamura, Kasusada Ichiguchi from DDT, and the current KOD champ, and of course Kenzo. They take on Naomichi Marufuji, Dosuke Sekimoto, and Kengo Mashino. I thought this match was pretty good. I think it was some good elements on this one because if you guys seen Yoshiki Inamura, he's from Pro Wrestling Noah. He was one of the biggest powerhouses. Kasusada Iguchi, the top guy in DDT. It was a pretty good matchup. Not much about Kenzo, but I am familiarized with Naomichi Marufuji and Daisuke Sekimoto. But in this case, it was the slice bread by Marufuji onto Kenzo that picked up the win. I thought it was a pretty good one too. Now, next match, we have a very interesting one. We have Masakatsu Funaki, Zack Sabre Jr., and Jake Lee. Three guys from the three different promotions. Funaki from Noah, Zack Sabre Jr. from New Japan, and Jake Lee All Japan. Kind of interesting, isn't it? They take on Matsuya Nagai, and he teams up with Lij, Shingo Takagi, and Naito. I thought this match was very interesting. Now, I know that Zack Sabre Jr. had his dealings with Lij in the past, especially with Naito, who's been up his nerves several times. There was a moment where Nagai and Shingo almost were about to butt heads because it was. I wouldn't say miscommunication is that somehow Zack Sabre Jr. was able to pull off the win no matter what he tried to pull. And that's exactly what happened. But it was Funaki who picked up the win by pinfall onto Nagai, giving them the win. I thought it was pretty solid. Now, main event, we got the Ace versus the Dragon. We got Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Tatsumi Fuginarari. So I thought it was a pretty fun match. More of the thing is you got the legend and a guy who could one day be in the legend status soon. I thought it was good. It did show like a little bit of the dragon who was trying to kick out every move he did, but however, the high five flow was what sealed the deal for him to win. It was a pretty good one right there, and I think I enjoyed it. Now, what can I think about the show? It's pretty good. Like I said, not a lot of wrestlers I'm familiarized with. It's great to see other wrestlers from different promotions come by, but we'll see what happens then. So, if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. So right now, let's move on with MLW Fusion. Okay, MLW Fusion 157. It opened up with Tail Valkyrie making her way to the commentary section due to the fact that the first opening match is the number one contendership for the MLW Women's Featherweight title. Here's who we have. We have Lady Flamer versus La Hydra versus La Reina Dorada versus Lady Shani. Now, Taya was willing to admit that she has familiarized with herself with 3 out of the 4 ladies, and that is Lady um, Flamer, La Hydra, and Lady Shani. But she has been keeping close eye of Reina Dorada, who is new in AAA, and I think it was a pretty good, interesting showing. But the obvious question does remain, who wants it more in this particular match to challenge Tail Valkyrie? Now, you know for a fact with this type of match, it would shed light for many of the AAA female wrestlers that are willing to say, I'm willing to step up the game and put Tail Valkyrie in her place. And I think that sets it all. But in this particular match, it was, of course, Lady Flamer with a body splash onto Reina Dorada to pick up the win. However, she got into her face during the post match, and then, of course, as any other moment, a brawl starts. And they try to separate these ladies like it was nothing. Now, we have a little fun segment. The Samoan SWAT team, consisting of Jacob Fatu, Lance Inoue, and Chusi Finau, talking about, of course, one is Fatu, the winner of the battle right, that he could possibly get a potential shot of the MLW World Heavyweight Championship. The only question that we always say, when is that going to happen? But Fatu had something else in mind. He's asking both Juicy and Lance, when are you guys going to be challenging for the MLW Tag Team titles? Pure genius out of that part. And I say, that's a good dynamic for their team to be in. So, we'll see what happens. Now, in Duca, we saw what happened last week. He attacked Alex Hammerstone. But the whole point he mentioned during an interview that he wanted Alexander's attention 100%. Like he's like saying, I'm a challenger right here. Now, this is almost a similar type of maneuver that I mentioned this with Julia this past earlier this year when Sudi was already in locked to challenge Julia, but her mind was elsewhere, which was with Risa Sarah from Prominence. So it was more like almost similar like that, but did Hammerstone got the message? Well, we'll just find out. Now, Mance Warner, he is right now putting up a scoop saying that he thinks he knows who's underneath Mads Kruger's mask. And this is going to make all of you guys laugh. He thinks it's Doc Gallows. One reason, he always forgets to buy the beer and many other things. I'm just thinking there is no way it's him. I mean, he doesn't fit the body shape. I don't know why, but I think it's funny. Now, as you know, Myron Reed, who is currently the young GOAT, has taken out every other competitor in the middleweight division. He's calling for anybody who's willing. And last week, we saw the video package by Shun Skywalker of Dragon Gate, who seems like he has his sights set on Myron Reed and the MLW World Middleweight title. Myron Reed responded saying that, keep on coming and I'll send you packing. So that's what he thinks is going to happen. But he has no clue Shun Skywalker is someone you don't want to take lightly with. Now, once again, we've been seeing these attacks recently with these mysterious cards. We saw that with Bud Heavy. We saw that with Calvin Tankman. And now Killer Cross. Now, we all know what's going on with Killer Cross. He went back to WWE with his Karrion Kross character. So I think this is a perfect way to, okay, we're cutting it from here. But who's this mysterious attacker? We don't know. Now, Alex Kane, as you know, he doesn't seem like he's too concerned over the fact that he lost the MLW National Openweight Championship, because he just revealed he has the Opera Cup tournament. Now, I just remembered when I saw this, I was like, last year he took out Calvin Tankman to ensure that he gets his spot. There were 2 people that could availably go into his spot if he's unavailable. And Alex Kane was one of them. I think he felt like it's a load of crap that he wasn't involved, but we'll see about that. Now, our main event is the MLW World Heavyweight Championship. What a great match. It was good. I think I like how Bandido, who is the small guy in the group, taking on the excuse me, the big guy in the company. It was a great, but it was the Nightmare Pendulum that sealed the deal. And of course, Alex Hammerstone was grateful that all the Mexican fans were appreciating him and all this. And I think he felt like he was welcoming. Last time, he wasn't that welcome. But now, this. But once again, all hell broke loose when EJ and Duca showed up. And that. However, that doesn't end the show there. Cesar Duran and his henchmen arrive. They see bodies laying around, but with those creepy calling cards. I don't know what's that all about, but something frightened Caesar. What is going on? Who's doing these mysterious attacks? We will find out soon enough. So I think that's pretty much it with MLW. Let's move on with our last review, Impact Wrestling. Okay, Impact Wrestling, our final review. Opened up with Bully Ray. Now, he did a very interesting promo. I feel like it was the proper one where he wasn't lying to Josh Alexander about when he was going to call his shot, how, or where. So it's like, okay, he was right about that, but beyond what he did, he was a total scumbag. But however, someone had enough to hear that. Is that's Rich Swann. The match was pretty good. I think it was between Bully and Swann was one of the most impressive openers. But Bully Ray, out of desperation, used the chain on Rich Swann and got himself disqualified. But he wanted to punish Rich Swann in every way possible by using the chair. The officials tried to stop him, but no go. Tommy Dreamer tried to plead with him, even Scott D'Amore, but no. Bully Ray decided to push him over the edge and all this stuff. So it kind of became a very interesting one. Now, as you know, Trey Miguel has regained the X Division Championship, but he defiled it by putting paint all over it with his logo on it. So yeah, it looks like he's turned heel in this particular time. Now we have Moose versus Rupinder Gurger. I think this match was pretty was pretty good for certain reasons. Why? Moose comes up big after a big match he had on Overdrive, but I think he was determined for something else. But he did spear Gurger at least and win the match. But he said in the post-match promo that he said, "I told you people about Bully Ray. No one listened to me." Because he said what was true. He's a scumbag. Bully is a scumbag. It takes a scumbag to know a scumbag. So, but however, he said that he'll never say his name, and you may have heard. Say his name. I'm ready. The world's ready for Joe Hendry, and I thought it was a great moment. I thought it was great. I don't know exactly what story they're building it, but it's very interesting. But the obvious question does remain: does that mean he has to defend, found a challenger for the digital media title? I don't know. We definitely got to pay attention to that. Now, Gia Miller puts out an interview with Mike Bailey. Kenny King has been obsessed with Mike Bailey. Like, he's saying that he's going to expose him for who he is. Now, Mike Bailey feels like he's confident enough that he won't go wherever Kenny King is trying to, put him in that position. Like, trying to show the world a darker version of him. But we'll just see when that day happens. Next match, we got Steve Macklin versus Frank Kazarian. I thought this match was pretty good. I thought it was pretty amazing. But, however, Macklin, who is still frustrated, feeling like people have cut in line in front of him time and time and time again. He used the chair on Frank Kazarian and he whacked him and wasted him there in the middle of the ring. He's telling the Impact management, I want my title shot. But the obvious question is, are they listening or they're putting in consideration? We don't know. Now, we saw Tasha Steele lost to Death Dolls. However, she's not happy with the result. But she did question Savannah. Where was she? Now, Savannah admits that she was saying that she was trying to stop them from pinning her. But Tasha actually took it a different portion. I don't know what that means between the two of them, but we'll find out. Now, Gia Miller does an interview with Eddie Edwards. However, Eddie Edwards is confident enough to believe that his little beef with PCO is done. But we haven't forgotten what happened at the end of that episode where PCO's hand rose from the dead. He doesn't believe that. But he wants to be negligent about it. But we'll see when that day comes, when the boogeyman starts. And I wouldn't be surprised if PCO shows up at Hard to Kill. Now, our current tag team champions, Heath and Rhino, said that they're going to have to talk with Scott D'Amore to give the Motor City Machine Guns their title opportunity. But however, Rhino decided to say that he's going to do exactly what he's going to do to Motor City Machine Guns, despite the fact that all three of them are from Detroit. So even Heath's like listening, and he's like, man, I love that guy. So I'm looking forward to that match. Now our next part we have is Mickie James versus Deonna Purrazzo. I thought this match was great because it took, you see, these two ladies had fought each other before, twice. They know each other's moves, but the obvious question does remain, what does it take to put one away? I think that's one of the questions that tells us. Now, you know every move that Deonna Purrazzo does, same thing with Mickie, but sometimes there's a counter. But you have to pull off a move that you haven't done before. And I think that's what Mickie James did when she rolled up Deonna Purrazzo and used the tights. I think she had no other choice but to cross that. But however, at the post-match, she received a surprise visit from Jordan Grace, who's giving her an opportunity for the Knockouts title at Hard to Kill. So that's going to be interesting. Now, a little segment takes us blast to the prison where Deaner wiped away the sickness. And apparently, I don't know what EY was thinking. He just said, what would you do if the sickness was in the building? So he was right telling him that he will kill him, but the sickness is failure. And apparently that kind of went into that storyline. But Deaner killed EY Young. And now it looks like he's the new leader of Violent by Design. Now, some of you question, does that mean Eric Young is done with Impact? Yes. Rumors circulating that he could be heading back to WWE. That's what I've been hearing. I'm not 100% if it's 100% confirmed, but we'll find out soon enough. And I think that's pretty much it. So I say let's just move on with news updates. Okay, news updates for today. We got two things from GCW. The first one, they make their return to Charlotte, North Carolina. That's going to take place on 20th of January. No details yet on the name of the event or who will be participating, but that will be to be determined or to be announced. Other words, we do have interesting developments on the Jersey J Cup that's been announced. As you know, recently I talked about who are the first 4 participants involved. They just announced 4 new ones that will be entering on the J Cup, on the Jersey J Cup. So here's who they have. They have Commander, Aries, Jack Cartwheel, and Joey Janela. I have to say, pretty good, solid team group. I think this is going to be good. Now, moving on. Our 9th entrant of the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Battle of Los Angeles is none other than Titus Alexander. So I'm kind of curious of that. Now, finally, if you guys saw New Japan Pro Wrestling or going to watch it, it was announced that Chase Owens will be absent for the remainder of the World Tag League due to the fact that someone in his family passed away. Our condolences and prayers goes to him and to his family. Not sure exactly what this means for him and his teammate Fale. Would they be forfeits? I don't know. That is still unclear for me. Um, we'll just find out and see what happens. Hopefully, we get a straight answer for that. I think that's pretty much it. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we have more on New Japan Pro Wrestling with the best of the Super Junior Tag League and World Tag League. And of course, we got AEW Rampage, NXT Level Up, and of course, if there's possible chance, that little throwback event that Impact Wrestling is going to throw out, hopefully I get to see that. So that's pretty much it. If there's any more news updates that's been out, I'll share that with all of you as soon as possible. So I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.